Hi, Heather. I have discovered the hard way that I am pretty weak muscle wise. I'm 51, have over 100 pounds to lose, and have a desk job. I have rejoined Weight Watchers, but this time I'm using your wisdom to fill in where Weight Watchers is lacking. My question is, I have thought so much about strength training, not to lose weight, but to get strong. My issue is I live in a rural area. Do you have any suggestions on how to find a trainer that is knowledgeable about injuries? I have a bad lower back, bad rotator cuff, and my knees are terrible. Bone spurs and not much cartilage left. When I have tried things on my own, I end up aggravating my shoulder and I'm in pain for months. I honestly don't even know what I could do with the physical condition I'm in. Do you have any suggestions to try to find a trainer? Do you know what I should expect to pay? And how do I know they really know what they are doing? I appreciate it. Thank you so much for all you do. All right. So let me say this too. I'm going to be honest with you. I think strength training would really help you. I'm not going to tell you a fib on that. I do think it would help you. But my biggest concern is that if you are that easy to injure, my concern is that if you could get some of the weight off, it would create a better situation for your knees and probably make you feel generally better and be able to move a little bit better. And so if I were to help you think about this, I'm going to answer the question here regarding the trainer, but if I were to give you a point of direction to move in, what I would encourage you to focus on strictly right now is just the weight loss. I would focus on the weight loss, and I would say because you have a kind of a combination of things because you mentioned knees, rotator cuff, and bad back. And my concern for you is I would rather see, like, if we're talking about getting, say, 10% or 20% of your body weight down, that's gonna alleviate back issues for sure, and it's gonna alleviate knee issues. And the more pressure you get taken off of those, the more range of motion you're gonna have, the better your ability to be trained will be. If you only had one of those issues, that might not be as, you could work around it. But when you're talking back and knees, that's a lot. There's a lot of movement patterns that will need both of those. So I don't see it as all things are lost, but I just think if we're going to think priority, I would prioritize the weight loss, which is going to be coming from your calorie deficit. Okay. If the weight is coming down, pressure comes off the knees, pressure. And I'll be honest with you, I was not obviously, I mean, I don't know what caused the back issues for you. When I had my son and I was pushing 300 pounds, when I would lay on the ground flat, my back went out of place. It was like I could not get up. My husband was actually afraid he was gonna be gone at work and I was gonna be stuck on my back like a turtle and I couldn't get up. I was in such pain in my lower back. When I got about 50 pounds down, my back stopped doing that. It was almost like an immediate correction. Now I still had general back achingness, but I wouldn't slip out of place. So I don't know the extent of your back problems, but I just want to let people know you don't have to lose all of your weight to see that kind of improvement. Sometimes it's just a certain percentage and it can really rectify some of those kinds of things like a back. Knees for sure. Because if you got knees, that's supporting a lot of weight, obviously, when you're standing. So I would really say those two big things. The rotator cuff, you can work around for sure. There's a lot of people I know who have a lot of shoulder issues and they still manage to get in a pretty good strength training routine. But I would be looking at that as something to work. Now, with a trainer, the price is going to really vary. It's going to vary based on experience, location, what type of gym it is, or how they work with the gym, whether they're like paying the gym to be there, or whether they are the gym owns or contracts out to them. So that's going to vary. I mean, it could be as little as $20 per session. I've seen all the way up to $80 per session or hour. It just really depends on all of those factors. But here's what we want to think about. How would you know if a trainer was going to be the correct one for you? Well, first off, you need to do your due diligence and your homework. And I would start to call around before you even step foot in a gym. I would call around and ask them if they have any trainers that have worked with somebody who has knee issues and back issues. And if they say, yes, we do have somebody, say, great. I'd like to hear their references, please. I'd get their references. They should be able to give you other people that they've worked with that have had those issues. I would call them and verify. If they do not have any references or they're not willing to give it, I would keep moseying on. I would not pursue that. They should be willing to give those to you. So they should have references. The other thing that I would encourage you to think about here is to let them know you're doing it as a trial. So what I would do is, let's just say that you found somebody reasonably priced, you checked out the references, you're feeling like you can handle the routine that they're going to throw your way, and you say, "Okay, I want to do this for about about 6 sessions. I'm going to prepay for 6 sessions. I want to see how this goes." And I would put a cap on it just like that, because a personal trainer is kind of unique in that you are seeing them face to face so many times a week, and you want to make sure that personality wise it's a good fit for you, and that this person really does. And I've seen some trainers who are really good. They know what they're doing, they're working with their client, they're interacting with their client. I've seen other ones, they're checking their phone, they're doing a whole bunch of stuff, they're not paying any attention. So I would be super selective who I was willing to pay my money to, and they should be willing to do that with you. But if I were to help you out, very first thing I would suggest is find something. And just here's a couple thoughts. I don't know the extent of your knee issue, but if I were to give you some kind of help here, I would look at getting a recumbent bike. A recumbent bike is amazing, and this is good for anybody that has a hip issue, a knee issue, back issue, and it's a way that you can actually start to strengthen and condition yourself in a much safer way. A recumbent bike has the back that your back sits against it. It's like a chair. You have the 2 handles down by the side, your feet are elevated and out in front of you, and you're pedaling forward. The reason I'm recommending that, like, if I were to say what if I was in your shoes knowing what I know, what would I do? I'd be focusing on weight loss, and I'd get a recumbent bike. And I would focus on using that and doing intervals, hills, things like that. And what it is you're not pressing down, so the knees are elevated upward, they're facing the ceiling. You seldom are going to find you're gonna have the same pain and problems. I got a great recumbent bike that was actually for a larger person. I remember I got one that I think it could hold up to a 400-pound person. I got it used on Craigslist for like in the $200 to $300 range. Best money I ever spent. That sucker helped me recover after a hernia operation. It allowed me to work through plantar fasciitis. It was a godsend when I could not walk or walk like I would normally walk. And it was a great workout for me. Now, once you get some of this weight off, you're feeling a little bit better, say you do get the recumbent bike, you can always add in strength training, and you may find that some of the back pain or some of the knee pain starts to go away, okay? So I just want to encourage you to think about that. Not saying weight strength training should be taken off the table, but I just think that if we're thinking about all the different conditions that are kind of coming together for you right now, I think 2 of them might be greatly impacted by weight loss. And I also think that if you could get a little bit more comfortable, you might be able to work around some of those issues if you get the right trainer. So that's just some thoughts there.